American occupation. January 25, 1898. American fleet Maine arrived in Havana, Cuba. February 14, 1898. The Spaniards bombed the American fleet Maine in Havana, Cuba, killing 246 people. April 25, 1898. The United States declared war against Spain, ordering Commodore George Dewey to attack the Spanish fleet in the Philippines. May 1, 1898. Manila Bay turned into a massive battlefield between United States and Spain. The Americans defeated the Spanish fleet led by Admiral Patricio Montojo. May 19. Upon instigation of the Americans, who at the time did not have two land forces to occupy the Philippine Islands, Emilio Aguinaldo returns to the Philippines from exile in Hong Kong, where he had been since the success of Katipunan. Revolt of 1892 to 1896. Second, the Pact of Biak-na-Bato, where Spain bargained for cession of hostilities in exchange for Aguinaldo's exile and payment of indemnity to the Philippine Revolutionary Forces. May 24. Aguinaldo issues a proclamation in which he assumed command of an Philippine forces and established an insurgent dictatorial government with himself as dictator. June 12, 1898. General Emilio Aguinaldo, who had returned from Hong Kong, proclaimed Philippine independence at his mansion in Kawit, Cavite. August 13, 1898. A mock battle between the Spanish and the Americans occurred, forbidding the participation of Filipino soldiers. Later, Manila was surrendered by Spain to the United States. December 10, 1898. Without the knowledge of the Filipinos, Spain surrendered the Philippines to the United States in exchange of $20 under the Treaty of Paris. January 23, 1899. General Emilio Aguinaldo was sworn into office as the President of the Philippine Republic and at the same time promulgated the Malolos Constitution. February 4, 1899. General hostilities erupt between U.S. and Filipino forces. March 31, 1899. American forces capture Malolos, capital of the Philippine Republic on Luzon, driving out Aguinaldo and his government. June 5, 1899. General Antonio Luna was killed by soldiers from the Kawit Company in Cabanatuan, Nueva Ecija. December 2, 1900. The young General Gregorio del Pilar died while fighting against the Americans in the Battle of Pasong Tirad. March 23, 1901. Emilio Aguinaldo was captured by the Americans, headed by Col Frederick Funston, with the help of some Filipinos in Palanan, Isabela. October 16, 1907. The first Philippine Assembly was inaugurated at Manila Grand Opera House. Sergio Osmeña was elected as Speaker and Manuel L. Quezon as Majority Floor Leader. October 13, 1913. The Underwood-Simons Law took effect, allowing an open trade between the United States and the Philippines. August 29, 1916. The Jones Law was signed, allowing the existence of the Philippine legislature and promising the Philippine independence from the United States. August 26, 1930. Crisanto Evangelista established the Communist Party of the Philippines, or CPP, as a peasants' reveal movement, and was later joined by farmers and event professionals. December 7, 1933. Frank Morphy, The last American governor granted Philippine women the right to vote. March 24, 1934, President Franklin Roosevelt signed the Tidings-McDuffie Act as to allow the drafting of the Philippine Constitution and to establish the Philippine Commonwealth, an agreement to liberate the Philippines in 10 years. March 23, 1935, President Roosevelt approved the plebiscite on the Constitution for the new republic. Claro M. Recto presided the Philippine Constitution, which was mainly patterned after the American Constitution over the Constitutional Convention. September 18, 1935, Manuel L. Quezon was elected President of the Commonwealth and Sergio Osmeña as the Vice President. World War II and the Japanese occupation. December 7, 1941, the Japanese bombed the Pearl Harbor, a U.S. military base in Hawaii. The Philippines was attacked 10 hours after the bombing. December 25, 1941, General Douglas MacArthur declared Manila as an open city, but the Japanese ignored and still continued its attack. March 29, 1942, Luis Taruf established the anti-Japanese guerrilla movement Hukbalahap, or Hukbo ng Bayan Laban sa Hapon. April 9, 1942. On this day, the fall of Bataan and the infamous Death March took place. Around 76,000 starving Americans and Filipino soldiers surrendered to the Japanese in Bataan. The Japanese lead their captives on a cruel hike from Mariveles, Bataan to Camp O'Donnell in Capas, Tarlac. Around 7,000 to 10,000 men perished from starvation during the 10 days, while some were luckily pulled out secretly by watching civilians. May 6, 1942, Corregidor, the last U.S. defense base of Filipino-American troops under Jonathan Wainwright, fell under Commander Homa of the Japanese Imperial Forces. October 24, 1944. This day, the prominent Battle of Leyte Gulf took place, where the island of Leyte was filled massively with an amphibious force of 700 vessels and 174,000 Army and Navy servicemen. By December 1944, the islands of Leyte and Mindoro had been cleared of the Japanese. September 2, 1945, right after the war in the Pacific, Japan surrendered to the Americans. The Philippines later was granted its independence, but with over 1 million Filipino casualties, more than 60,000 Americans died, and 300,000 Japanese lost their lives. The Philippine Republic. April 30, 1946, the Sidings Rehabilitation Act was signed, giving the Americans equal freedom and privilege to use the natural resources of the Philippines. July 4, 1946, Manuel Rojas became the first president of the Philippine Republic. March 14, 1947, the Treaty of General Relations was signed, allowing the U.S. military bases to be installed in the Philippines for 99 years. April 17, 1948, Elpidio Quirino succeeded Manuel Rojas as the president when the latter died of heart attack. Alarmed by the growing armed members of Hukbalahap movement, Quirino tried to negotiate with its leader, Luis Taruf. November 10, 1953, Ramon Magsaysay was elected the new president and Carlos P. Garcia as vice president. Known to be the leader of the poor, Magsaysay initiated many local infrastructure projects and established special courts to resolve disputes. between landlords and tenants. May 17, 1954, Huk Balahap leader Luis Taruk surrendered to the government, signaling decline of the movement's strength. March 17, 1957, President Ramon Magsaysay died in an airplane crash in Manungal, Cebu. March 18, 1957, Carlos P. Garcia continued the 9-month presidency of President Ramon Magsaysay. November 12, 1957, Carlos P. Garcia elected as the fourth President of the Philippine Republic. November 14, 1961, Diosdado Macapagal won the presidential election and replaced President Carlos P. Garcia. May 12, 1962, soon after taking office, President Macapagal proclaimed June 12 as a national holiday in commemoration of Philippine independence instead of July 4. General Emilio Aguinaldo, who first proclaimed Philippine independence in 1898, was the guest of honor at the first celebration of Philippine independence on June 12, 1962. August 8, 1963, President Macapagal signed the Agricultural Land Reform Code. November 9, 1965, Ferdinand Marcos was elected the sixth President of the Philippine Republic. He made extravagant spendings on public works, building roads, bridges, health centers, hospitals, schools, and putting up urban beautification projects. August 8, 1967, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations was organized after a meeting in Manila. December 26, 1968, Jose Maria Sison re-established the Communist Party of the Philippines, or CPP, as the Stalinist Maoist political party. November 11, 1969, Marcos was re-elected as president. August 21, 1971, a bomb exploded at Plaza Miranda during a political rally of the Liberal Party. There were around 100 casualties and 10 deaths starting that time. The popularity of Benigno Aquino and his Liberal Party grew rapidly. Marcos blames the communists for suspicious bombing. September 21, 1972, Marcos declared martial law under the proclamation number 1081. Many opposition leaders, including Benigno Aquino, journalists, and activists, were detained in Fort Bonifacio under martial law.